And we roll into you actually recording your measurement video and creating that next asset. What to bring to the first coaching call? We put it in context on the video which talked about why this is important to take measurements. The cool thing at this point, when you've got this one done, is that we've got those assets built for the first week in place and done. At that point, you'll be ready to learn the 9-box coaching call training, which we will be delivering to you at some point in the near future. We want you to know that now, because you're like, okay, cool, I've got all this done. The next thing is like what I'm going to be doing actually on that coaching call. So you're really confident that when you have those sales calls, that you can confidently close someone because you know they're going to get a great experience because you're going to know exactly what to do with them. Now, warning, measurements isn't easy. Coaching is needed. And what do I mean by that? As mentioned on the other video, that sometimes it's quite hard. The bigger the client is, the harder it will be for them to measure. So imagine, for instance, like someone's trying to measure their hips and they're quite overweight. Not only looking for like little bony bits, but it's also like, I don't know how to put this, be like measuring a football, you know, but not right in the middle, kind of half, 2/3 down. When I say football, I mean proper football, not soccer ball, not your crazy American stuff. So it is difficult. So you do need to get that across. And when I say coaching is needed, what I mean by this is it's needed when you talk to them in your video, but also when you get the measurements and the client brings them to the first coaching call, just explaining that in the first coaching call, just talking about the fact that, you know, this is a snapshot. Sometimes it's not the most easy thing to do. So we're going to look at a trend, because what you don't want to happen is the client to turn up on the second week and it looked like they put weight on, basically because they've just done faulty measurements, right? So we need to cover that a little bit in the video that you're going to produce now from this video, but more so actually in the coaching call. But do mention it now because you kind of want to get in front of that. So as usual, it's a 4-minute video, short one. Sometimes it can be a little bit longer. It can actually be a little bit shorter as well. Video structure example. So here's how I do it. So this is the second video that I need to give you, that I need you to see, which is all about how do you take measurements so we know exactly where you are. Now, the other video that you would have seen is about bringing your food diary. So these are the only 2 things that I need you to bring to the first coaching call. Obviously for you, that makes it really easy, but these are the big rocks that we want to start with. So what would I suggest you do? Well, number one is that I would suggest that you get some help doing this. Now, look, it's totally cool. You can do this on your own, and you're going to get some documents that show you exactly how to do this. But if you've got someone else there to do it with you, it does just make it that little bit easier. Again, if you notice within this, within the email, there's a document which tells you exactly how to do this, as well as this video. Guys, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. There you go. That's fun. I'm going to keep going. So here's where I'll pick it up. I'm just going to carry on. So I'll be saying to the clients, I'll be like, so what's really important is that we do get this done before the first call. As I said, there's only 2 things that I really want you to bring. And look, I know that sometimes this isn't the nicest thing to do. Maybe stepping on the scales isn't something you've done for a while, and certainly getting a tape measure out and kind of wrapping it around you can just sometimes feel a little bit evasive, or sometimes it's just like almost like sort of opening your bank account sometimes and you don't want to look in how much money you've got. It's like just facing the situation as it is, and look, it's totally cool. That's why you're here. That's why we're working together. And that's why we're going to be able to change this. It's really important that we know where you are, because as you start seeing progression, you're going to see those numbers tumble and you're going to be like, Tim, it's so cool to be able to see that the actual differences week by week already. One thing that I would say, by the way, is I have given you some instructions, but sometimes it can be like something that's new to you. It's like any skill. You know, I've done this a lot of times with people, but it might not be something that you've necessarily measured yourself. So look, just to let you know, sometimes it's a bit fiddly at first. Don't get stressed. Don't worry about that too much. Don't worry if it doesn't feel like you've got it exactly right. It's fine. Let's just get a good example of where you are, and we'll talk about in the first coaching call how we actually use these measurements over the 12 weeks. Because what we look at is, instead of just like the numbers each week, because sometimes there is a little bit of variability, let's call it, because you're learning to do this and it's something that's new. We just look at the trend over the 12 weeks. And we can graph that and we can plot that and we can just make sure that it's going down. So don't worry too much if it feels a bit fiddly. Just get it done for me. Good enough is good enough. And you'll bring them to the first call. Now, the other thing that sometimes people in this situation are like, I don't have a tape measure. That's cool. That's totally cool. What I'm going to do is, or you might have one. I'm going to give you a little link that you can order one, and I'd suggest that you use this version. You don't have to. If you've already got one, it's totally cool, but there will be a link here. You'll be able to find it in the email that will allow you to order one, and you'll be able to get that within 24 hours. My suggestion is you do it off Amazon. These do make it a lot easier. Look, really enjoyed starting. See you on the first coaching call, and yeah, pumped to be helping with this. One last thing, as I said, sometimes people can feel a little bit uncomfortable doing this, jumping on the scales. I'm going to ask you to do that, and obviously doing the measurements as well. Look, it's cool. You're here. We're doing something about this. That's the thing that I want you to tell yourself. If you feel a bit like, this isn't really what I want to see, we're going to do something about it. Speak soon. Okay, guys. So look, and look, I'm not going to redo that, by the way. So look, it just shows like good enough is good enough. Something that people can say at this point is like, Tim, should I not do a video as opposed to pictures? Should I not show my clients on video? Because I know we've done a lot of videos. And my suggestion would be like, actually, no, I think that photos are much easier for this to understand and help your clients see this. I found it just works so much better with just still pictures as opposed to videos and doing it like that. You might be sitting there thinking, well, like, the photos that we used, et cetera, it's of lean people. Is it not, easier? Is it harder to do with overweight people? It is a bit more challenging for them to do. But as I said, like, if you go through what I've done on that video and what you'll do in the coaching call, you can get over that. You need to basically track measurements of people as a collective. Photos, clothes size, girths. With online, there's pros and cons of all of these ways of doing it. You're not there with them. That's the reality of the situation. Just know, though, that you do have photos, scales, and girths, and overall, the trend will be down when you'll track them when they're losing weight. So, action point on this one, very simply, I just want you to post in the group. Action point on this one, very simple. I just want you to post in the group, measurement video asset done. Don't worry about uploading it. I know you've done that already. I just want you to say measurement video asset done. See you on the next video.